parents have to show, you can't just dictate something to your children. You need to show them that this is how it's happened. This is how you do it, because otherwise they will do it, but they will not do it the way you prefer to be done, because you haven't taught them and you are expecting them to do something.
In this episode, we get to speak with Sam Dossa. He's from Birmingham, UK. He specializes in psychometric assessment and emotional intelligence. His niche is to develop and enhance individuals and corporate sectors' emotional intelligence to operate efficiently and achieve excellent results. Let's dig deep into learning the application and principles of emotional intelligence that can enhance our self-awareness, self-regulation, motivation, empathy, and social skills. Thank you for tuning in to Hacks and Hobbies with your host, Junaid. We're visited by our amazing guests coming from all walks of life who want to learn their story, their struggles, and their journey on how they got to where they are today. So stick around. Sam, thank you so much for coming on to the podcast.
Thank you very much, Junaid, for inviting me.
Absolutely. So Sam, it's been really good knowing you. We met through Matchmaker.fm, which is an awesome little platform, and then we had a intro call a couple of weeks ago where we got to learn about each other and what you've been doing with your professional life and where you're coming from, and it was really good knowing you. You know, it almost seemed like we had parallel backgrounds or parallel, tasks or what we did in our life and where we started from and where we ended in. I mean, you're in the UK, I'm in the US. So tell us a little bit about yourself and, introduce yourself to my audience.
Sure. So my name is Sam Dossa, and I'm originally from Pakistan and been living in the UK for the last 24 years now. I left my country in 1996 and joined my first wife. We started a journey here in the UK, and it was quite a new transition for me, coming from a culture which was a completely different domain.
Mm-hmm.
I was lucky working in Pakistan because I was working for international companies.
Yeah.
I met quite a few expatriates over there who had actually told me how's the world life like in different countries. And I thought, well, that might be another experience or adventure for me. So when I arrived, it was a completely different adventure, I would say. I would not change for anything.
Yeah.
But it opens my eyes. Because my background was IT, and I luckily found a position in 2 weeks' time to coming to UK. So my journey started on the journey of working in a company, and then I progressed from there to another ventures in regards to upgrading my skills, upgrading my qualifications and everything. And I managed to enter into a very big organization like British Telecoms, where I worked for 10 years. And I reached to that level of managerial positions, moving into a couple of other places. And since 2007, have been on the journey of doing coaching, youth coaching, accelerated my own learning in regards to counseling and psychometric assessments, working in corporates with regards to a couple of other things. Did my what I call it service in schools, where I taught CV writing skills as well as interview skills. So I'm here today, and I'm still serving in a sort of schools in different platforms. But I'm also a public speaker and emotional intelligence coach. So that's Sam Dossa.
Well, thank you so much. That was very brief and very concise on how you started your journey and took about your way. Like, what inspired you to come to the UK besides that it was a different country?
Well, as I said, I got married to a British national,
Hmm.
and that's why I moved to Great Britain.
Okay.
So that
Right.
was my journey started. Um, my plan was to go to Canada, but destination was decided to be in the UK. So I'm
Nice.
here.
Very cool. So tell us a little bit about your coaching and what inspired you to become a coach. And you're a business and heart transformation coach. What inspired you to take to that um, area of expertise rather than sticking to IT? And I know business is, IT is involved in business, but what was the turning point?
Well, within IT, I was also dealing with customers, dealing with my own teams. So element of mentoring, coaching was already there. I've been doing a lot of community service where I was doing mentoring sessions as well,
Hmm.
and I was helping a lot of young kids and also teaching in sort of what I call it religious schools on Saturdays. So
Yeah.
that sort of journey already began for a long
Hmm.
time ago, and I worked with my business partner with whom I started a charity
Hmm.
called Empowering Youth as well, which was running in London, and we place ourselves into community where we help vulnerable children who were being secluded from the classes. So we were being given this opportunity to go in there, spend some time with them, give them some skill sets like listening and talking to us about their own journey, why they are finding this difficult to be in the school or in the classes. So we have gone through with them some great work, doing counseling, coaching, mentoring, artwork,
Hmm.
mindfulness. So there are so many things, so many tools we use, and that helps me to understand this phenomena of the physiology and psychology of human beings. And I found that very rewarding when I'm helping others in terms of supporting them going from A to B or B to C or D or Z. So that journey started in 2007, and I
Yeah.
continued on the part-time basis. But as we all said, when you are left brain and then you are trying to come into a sort of a right brain, and they are trying to collide it together. But I found this Mary quite smoothly for me,
Hmm.
because I had this sort of feeling to connect to people very easily.
Yeah.
And my daughters, I'm a proud father of three daughters,
Hmm.
and we have sort of places where we go and serve, and everybody intend to know me. And my daughter used to say, Daddy, everybody knows you over here. And I'm very humble that people look at me and seeing that I'm just serving. So
Hmm.
people aware of my name in sort of a community.
That's really awesome. And so you're working with a lot of young adults and training them and talking with them on what it takes to be a better human being. I'm guessing right. How to
Yes.
be somebody that can provide value to the community, be a productive member of the society, so forth and so forth. And I think that's where mentorship comes to, right? So when you find a good mentor and you try to follow suit, and it reminds me of, when I was growing up in the US, when I moved out here,
Hmm.
I wish I had found, I mean, sure, you have mentors in family, you have mentors in your parents, mentors in uncles, and they'll guide you only to a point where they've gotten to, right? And they can't tell you anything past that level. So from that perspective, I learned a lot from them. And then I always looked at, okay, who can I learn more from? And the internet was very new, and there was very limited. Like, coaching was a term reserved for sports, right? It was not, life coaching was
Coaching.
a foreign concept. It all came down to, oh, you want to go see a shrink, you know,
Yes.
that's not coaching, right? But that's trying to find that awareness in you. So I wrote a letter to my 20-year-old self, when I turned 40, and like, okay, these are some of the things that I would seek out. Like, I would tell you to go out and seek, go into your passion, find a mentor, find a role model to mimic after. And I think around the same time, I was traveling for work, and I was probably in my 20s, and I ran into Tony Robbins. He had an infomercial out, 3 a.m. at night, and I'd have the TV on at this hotel, and I'm watching him talk about all of this personal power, and I was just fascinated. I was like, oh my God, I've been looking for this guy for all my life. But what's also interesting, being Muslims, being of the religion, and because you mentioned you're working with the local Islamic centers, local religious centers, to help create that youth sector, that youth program, to help guide. And I think there's a lot of things that we, as human beings, we tend to ignore. Like, we have in the Quran and we have in the Sirah so many amazing leadership examples that we kind of ignore because they are easily accessible, but they're not as, I don't know what the term is, but like, how would you define that? Because I think there's a lot of mentorship in there as well, but maybe there's a negative connotation associated to that. So how would somebody escape that? Because I think I noticed that in myself as well. When I'm telling my kids to go read their Para or Quran or whatever, I feel that I'm not I'm not presenting it in a very invitational format. Like, it's almost feels like a chore rather than something that's closer to heart. So how can we, like, what did you do to make it more appealing? I think
parents' responsibility is to do first themselves before they can preach other people, because if they are not doing themselves, and you're going to say to your son or daughter, then do those sort of things, and they're going to think about it. They don't do it, why should I do it?
Right.
What's important to me?
Yeah.
But they are not following it. Why are they asking me to follow it? Why they are asking me to do my namaz 5 times, and why should I do this, and why should I read that, and why? So it's about you as a parent first to show that you are doing this, and then they will follow it. It's like, if my dad is doing it, it must be something I should follow it.
Yeah.
Because otherwise what's going to happen is they have 100,000 questions, because we are living in a very multicultural society.
Yes, we are.
Yeah. So you are living in a society where you are mixing with all sorts of religion people. Yeah. And when our children goes into school, when they are putting a scarf on, or when they are putting something on, they are being questioned. They have been asked several hundred questions. And because in the media there is so much going on right now, we are the simple target. But fortunately, right now, as we are going through with this COVID-19, a lot of things has happened, because everybody has to put on a mask. Everybody's put on a scarf. Everybody's have to wash their hands. Everybody has to do a lot of other things, which we as human, we as Muslims are already doing it.
We've been doing it for years.
Yeah, so it is nothing new for us. But for them to follow it through is completely thinking process is changing right now, and accepting and acknowledging it, and then it's becoming compulsory to everybody to just follow it through. And for our communities, we do not have to tell them anything, because they are already following it. We just have to say, be hygienic.
Exactly.
So for parents have to show, you can't just dictate something to your children. You need to show them that this is how it's happened. This is how you do it, because otherwise they will do it, but they will not do it the way you prefer to be done, because you haven't taught them and you are expecting them to do something.
No, that's a very good point. And I think I can attest to that to my dad, because he would tell us, but then he would also go. Like, even to this day, right? He's probably in his 70s. Whenever I go and visit, he's up at 5, he's up at 4 a.m. going to the mosque to do the Fajr prayer, right? So he's doing those things. He's knocking on the door like, guys, get up and pray. So all my life, I've seen him do that. So I've become practicing because of that. I think one of the things that, and that this whole conversation about you do, and then you practice before you preach, comes down to and following your parents. It comes down to the time of the prophet when he was preaching, and all the people were like, "Why should we do what our parents didn't do?" Right? So that's the mind shift part of the thing. Like, okay, why should I do it when my parents didn't do? Well, my parents.
But at that time, they did not have the guidance.
They didn't have the guidance.
Did not have the right guidance been given to them. What is the right guidance? What is right guidance to you? The prophet has been giving you that guidance. This is the guidance. Yeah, I understand your parents were not being given the guidance, even though they were given the guidance from different prophets, but they did not follow those guidance.
They didn't follow through, yeah.
Follow through. So they have several hundred questions, as well as our children have been brought up in this society, which is allowing them to think outside the box. They are critical thinkers. We are not back home where your father said to you, Junaid, sit down. So you sit down. Here, you said to your daughter or son, sit down, and says, why? Why should I sit down? I don't want to sit down. I want to go out, or I want to go to my room. Or you can't go to her room or his room without knocking, otherwise you are intriguing in their privacy.
Mm-hmm.
Did we have those sort of privileges? No. We were living in a two bedroom apartment, and we were about 7 people in the house. So we were all in the one house living together. There was no privacy.
Yeah.
So there is completely contrast of how we were being brought up and what sort of values we have brought up with us, and what sort of value we're giving to our children now.
Yeah.
Yeah. That is, respect is very important, that you respect your elders, very important. When somebody comes in the house, you need to make sure that you respectfully give them a salam. You make sure that you offer them something to drink. So these are all qualities have to be instilled in our children. You can't imagine that you are sitting on the sofa and somebody comes in and your children are just watching TV, or they are playing on their PlayStation, and they are not giving an eye contact to your somebody coming at home. So these are being instilled by the parents, and these are all the values have to be instilled by the parents. You can't. They are going to go to school, and they're going to learn so many things in the school. Correct?
Absolutely. You're 100% correct, because, and I now that you mention, and it's something that's been on top of mine. It's on the back of my mind. We got to watch what we're doing, because the youngest one is learning from the older siblings, and all the words that she's using, all the activities and all the behaviors, right? It's all learned behavior. We didn't teach all of that. So it continues on as they grow older. So we've got to be better human beings, better Muslims, better people ourselves before we expect someone else to do it.
We just have to be better human beings. It's not about the connotation of whether a Muslim, whether a Hindu, whether a Christian, or whether anybody, any religion. You just have to be first of all, being a human being before you can completely attach to yourself to any religion. If you are not a human being, your religion is not going to do anything to you.
Right. You're absolutely right. Thank you so much, man. It's been on top of mind, and it's like, okay, how do we fix it? Like, okay, I got to do it before I can enforce it, or before they can follow along. Beautiful.
Because you have been supported by your father. Your father has created a habit of showing you, and he has been the preacher. He has been your guide. He never left you saying that, Junaid, just do it. You will never say anything to your father, say, no, Daddy, I'm not going to do it. Abu, I'm not going to do it.
Yeah.
But you're going to respect him and say, yes.
Yes.
Whether you do it or not do it is another thing.
That's a different thing, yeah. Amen, brother. Amen.
Amen, bro. Amen.
So what are some of your motivations for the things that you're doing today and, for the next 10 years? What are some of the plans?
Junaid, me and my wife, we were planning to do a lot of things in terms of bringing people to a platform where we invite them to share our platform here in the UK.
Mm-hmm.
And there are a lot of people who want to be public speakers, so we bring public speaking sort of people to come and do the public speaking on the platform.
Yeah.
And then they can share their stories, they can talk about their business. This is one area. My wife has started a charity, and she helped a lot of women in the field, not only in the UK, but everywhere in the world, wherever the requirement is. So we are working hand in hand to help as many people we can try to. And this is all about creating a space, safe space for people to be present in the place where we can help them to go forward. And our ambition is to work with, is a collaboration we are looking at. There is no competition in that.
There's no competition, yeah.
No, this is collaboration. We work with everybody and anybody, but depending on how they suit with our values. We can't work with everybody. We have to set our values. If they set with their values, is not going to merge together, is not going to be good marriage. So we want to make sure that the marriage is very clear, pure, that those values are working together, and we have the same direction to help the humanity. That's what our thought is going forward in our life.
Fantastic. So give us some of the tips and in the coaching platform that you're running, right? You mentioned specializing in burnout. So how can somebody avoid burnout? What are some of the few steps that somebody can take to avoid
burnout is one of those things which develops slowly. It's like a silent and deadly thing, and it's individual choice how they look at it. I've been through that sort of a journey of myself as well, and what we do is we avoid a lot of things. Our health does not come first. Our health comes the last thing in our life. So that affects us so dearly. What happens is that we completely neglect ourselves. So let's say, for example, when people are burning out, means they are not looking after their mentally, they are not helping yourself mentally, physically, and emotionally. These three factors affect them very dearly. So you are not sleeping enough, you are not having good night's sleep, then you are awake very early, or you are completely freaking out in the morning because you did not sleep correctly and you are completely exhausted. So your brain did not drain any toxin. Your brain still got toxin which is going into your bloodstream now.
Oh, wow.
So when they're going into your bloodstream, you can imagine what sort of damage is going to do for your bloodstream. So everything is going into your bloodstream, and you started having anxiousness, panic attack. If somebody says something to you, you get really angry for no reason. And husband and wife are having so much argument, or you are outside on the road. If somebody cuts you off, you are swearing and you're shouting and you're honking and all sorts of things, because you are not looking after yourself. Whatever you find something, you just eat and just put it in your mouth. Your junk food going in, and your body is getting bloated and everything. And emotionally, you are not talking to people correctly, because people think that he will snap. If I'm going to talk to him or I will talk to her, she will snap on me. I'd rather not talk to them. So you are emotionally getting overloaded. You are suppressing a lot of things into your body. And what is going to happen is your body started to shut down certain areas, and you become chronic fatigue in your body. And one morning you will not be able to wake up, or you will not going to get up from your bed. And then you call upon a doctor, and doctor will say, you need to rest for next 6 months, mate. You haven't slept enough. So you started taking sleeping pills. You started taking a lot of other things to get survive. Because what happens is universe shows you a lot of signs. Yeah, if you don't drink enough water in a week, what happens? Your urine will be very yellow.
Very yellow, yeah.
Correct. So he says to you, drink water. Yeah. When you're getting lethargic or your head has started to spin, what happened? You're not having enough sleep.
Mm-hmm.
So
Because
there are
those
a lot of
toxins,
things.
yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. Your toxins are not draining from your head. You are constantly keeping all those toxins, and your toxins started going into your bloodstream. And our chemicals imbalance becomes very dangerous to us. For men is a little bit less, but for women is more higher if they goes through, because their chemicals are different from our chemicals. So you
Yeah,
can imagine the toxin comes into their bloodstream, their hormones goes up and down, they can't understand what's going on, they started having flushes coming to your body, they started to have spots on their skin,
yeah,
their hair started to lose. So there are a lot of complications to start, and that chronic fatigue
yeah.
destroy them. To get rid of those sort of things, one has to start doing mindfulness. And the irony is we have 24 hours,
You-
824,000 seconds. We don't take out 10 minutes to do mindfulness.
yeah,
10 minutes. If you can't take out 10 minutes for mindfulness, go into the nature, sit in the nature, breathe fresh air. Just sit, you don't have to do anything. We are lucky as a Muslim, we got 5 times. We go into sajda.
that's right.
Yeah? And
Yeah.
the sajda, what does it do? The blood stream comes into your head. It refreshes everything. So that's the beauty of that namaz. But again, you need to be mindful of yourself, your body, and your awareness and everything. It requires you to be congruent with yourself first. You can't help others if you can't help yourself.
Yeah, that's possible.
So the step is very easy. Plenty of water, enough sleep, and then good food, right time, sit in mindfulness, and then if you go through some uncertainty, you need to speak to somebody and talk to somebody. Doesn't matter whether if your boss is not listening, you talk to your friend. If your friend is not listening, you hire somebody.
Yeah.
Your health is your wealth.
Amen. Yeah, that's true. If you're not healthy, you're not wealthy, because
Yeah,
then you're not alive.
absolutely. You
Wow.
are completely destroyed after that, because I remember this guy was telling the story about this. He worked for 80 years. Yeah. And when he was older,
Yeah.
he gone through with his journey earning money. One day he was on the bed, and all the money he earned was spending on to be him to get recovered.
To recover, yeah.
So he wasted his entire life just to see that. And a lot of people talk about this husband and wife. We are saving for our, when we get retired, we're going to spend time here, we're going to spend time over there. By the time you retired, one person got ill and he passed away. You did not enjoy your
You didn't
time
enjoy the time.
when you had everything. You just wanted to keep it for your retirement. People not started to living in this present moment. There's people are thinking we want to make sure that our future is bright.
Yeah.
But who have seen the future?
Nobody's seen the future, yeah.
We say the your past is a history, future is a mystery. You live in the present. That's why it's called the present day.
Yeah.
It's a present. Yeah, it's a present for you. But we don't live in the present. We live in the past or in the future.
Oh.
We forget to live in the moment of bliss and joy. You are surrounded with so many things. There is this is when you are anxious or when you are very upset or when sometimes you're going through so many things, we look to find the solution everywhere. Correct? But we do not look under our nose because the solution is there. So this guy wakes up in the morning and he smells something. This was so disgusting smell, I could not bear it. So he was searching where the smell coming from. So he opened the fridge, he checked in the garbage dump, and he looked at everywhere, outside, inside. And then he realized there was something stuck in his mustache. Couple of days food was stuck there which has been rotten. And sometimes we are looking outside everywhere to find the solution, but sometimes we do not look underneath our nose. And that's what happened.
Hold on 1 second.
Yeah, that's fine.
You want to say hi? Say salam alaikum here.
Assalamu alaikum. Hello.
Alright, you guys can pick whatever you want. But
Papa, you not let me pick.
just tell him that Baba told him to let you pick. Alright, so my wife and I, we both work from home. So
That's fine.
our niece who comes over till 5 o'clock, so she left at 5 o'clock and he's past 5, so they're like, all right, what do we do? We want to go play outside. They go play outside, they want to watch TV, so, kids.
Oh yeah, mate. I've been through that journey as well.
Yep, so, and I think I updated my calendar for the next few weeks because initially I had this set up, 4 and 5 o'clock, but then I was like, you know what, I got to be off the computer at 5 o'clock, so then I can spend time with the kids. So let's see how that goes for the next couple of weeks. But it's really, it's really enlightening talking with you, and a lot of the things that you're bringing up are I see them. It's like that's why it's happening. This is why this is happening. This is why that's happening. This is why you're tired. This is why I'm tired. This is why the kids are acting out. This is why I see it like every day for the past 4 months, right? We've been home quarantined, living this thing, and we're just so tired.
The irony is that children can pick up your emotions. You can imagine that you have a toddler, not a toddler, let's say young child who was born 6 weeks, 7 weeks, 8 weeks. And mother is anxious, mother is very tired because she has to wake up in the night to feed the child, and husband is working, so husband has to leave the house, and mom is doing everything. But mom can get exhausted as well. So mom get really tired and very cranky at the moment, but the child pick up all those emotions. Child started to cry. She started to cry. Even though she is fed, still she is being changed, everything, but she is picking up the emotions of the mother or the father, and they act on that sort of basis.
Yeah.
So our children pick up our emotion and says, okay, Baba is tired, mommy is tired, let's make some noise, and they will crack, or they will give everything what we want, because they will say, oh, go. Open the cookie jar.
Do whatever you want. Take the cookies.
Go outside. Just go outside and eat whatever you want to, or play wherever you want to. But don't disturb me. I just want to have some time to myself. So you can imagine, even though we want to go into the loo, and sometimes they just knock on the door, Dad. So you say, what you want? Can't you just give me 5 minutes?
Yeah, it's very real, and I think that's burnout right there.
That's life, actually. That's life.
Yeah, that's
what happened is, there is always a way to find the solutions. The more you get active and the more you can work as a team, as mother, father, and your children work as a team. You have to have a discipline. You have to have some sort of a timeline. You can't just tell your children to work for 4 hours and then do more 4 hours. It doesn't work like that.
Doesn't work that way.
Even though in the office place where you work, in the office, people will say to you, okay, you are sitting for 30 minutes, then get up and stretch yourself and then sit down, because they want to make sure that your blood circulation is right. That's why people get up from their chair, go and make a tea or a coffee or something like that, and come back and then go back to work. Right?
Exactly.
So children also feel the same thing. Yeah. Children also feel the same thing sometimes.
They do.
Yeah. So we have to make sure that we give them breaks. When we give them breaks, they have a sort of a reward in there. So if you're going to do this, this is your reward. So make sure that you do it right.
Yeah.
It's about how you communicate with them. Older children now know your tactics. Yeah, younger children, you can still mold them. But older children have a different way of talking to them because
Yeah.
they love their gadgets, they love their other things, which they will say, Abu, buy this, or Mom, buy this. And I say, well, first of all, do this, then you will get this.
Yeah. Absolutely. No, those are excellent points, and those are things that we're working on. We work with the kids. I'm like, okay, here's the schedule. Here's the things that you're gonna do, right? And then you get rewarded by playtime, by getting good food, getting all this stuff. So today I introduced point system. So okay, we all start with this many points. If you do good deed, you get more points. If you don't listen, you get yelled at. Well, you get those points taken away, and then having that reward at the end of the week. And yeah, it's a work in progress, right? You can't be a perfect parent ever. It's impossible.
No, because you are not received a manual.
Yes, we
You
haven't
didn't receive
received.
a parental manual. Nobody has given a parental manual to
That's
say,
right.
okay, this is how it's going to work. If my child is not behaving, I will open page number 75 from the manual and we'll see what has been prescribed in that. We
That's
learn
so true.
as we go.
Yeah,
But again, as a parent, is our responsibility as husband and wife to be mindful of a lot of things. Is also your relationship, husband and wife relationship is very important, that you
yeah,
are communicating, you are understanding each other emotions, to looking after your own health in three areas, as I mentioned: your mental health, your physical health, and your emotional health.
yeah.
If you are not working together on those three areas, you're going to get burned out yourself, and you feel that, oh my God, you know what, that's enough,
Yeah,
it's enough.
yeah. Amen. I mean, that's
Uh,
that's so true. I see it all around.
it is a big thing.
It's a big deal. Yeah,
It's a big deal because in a lot of cultures we thought that woman is going to look after the house, going to look after the children, and husband is going to be the breadwinner and he's going to do this. But the roles are shifting now. Working together as a husband and wife, you are both working in a very high demanding jobs. So
yes.
you have to balance somewhere. You can't rely. You know how much we rely on others, but when it's about you, outsider can actually teach something else to your children, and you will realize that was not what I wanted to teach my
Mm-hmm.
children. So the influence what they are getting might be not right,
Yeah,
and then you will feel later on in your life, "Oh, this is, well, I wish I would have spent more time with them."
more time with them. Yeah,
Yeah. So these are all things we forget, because I've seen a lot of families migrated from India and Pakistan to UK because their circumstances were completely different. They were in that sort of a minority where they were not educated, they were working long hours, and they
right.
left their children with their friends or their next door neighbor, and their children grown up now,
They're
and
different. They're
they
not.
are completely lost their values. So this is very important.
It's very deep stuff.
It
Very deep
is.
stuff. So let's come to the lighter side. I mean, all of these have, there's ways to combat them, there's ways to find a solution and see the signs, right? We have the signs. Just pay attention to the signs to treat yourself and talk to somebody if you're feeling so left out or left alone or, can't handle it all. Well, you got to talk to somebody. Great points. Thank you so much.
Pleasure, pleasure. Because what happened is, if you do not talk, most of the time, what happened is, let's give you a simple scenario, Junaid. Um, when you're going through something yourself as a man,
Mm-hmm.
we put a very brave face. I've done for 17 years in my
Yeah.
first marriage. 17 years, a very brave face. I've gone through so many things, so many journeys I've gone through. I did not have an avenue where I go and talk to another man whom I trust, or whom I say, okay, you know what, I'm going through with this. Can you help me, please? Can you help me? There was nobody was there. for women is a completely different thing, because they have this a circle of other women who they speak to, and they went out. But they know that if their husband are not going to listen, they went out somewhere else, they will still going to survive longer than the
Right.
man, because man is suppressing everything in his body. And what that suppressing means, they're creating toxin in their body and
Yeah.
affecting themselves.
Oh my God.
Yeah, so there are a lot of things happening, and that's why it's important for husband and wife to have a place of safe talk space where they can talk to each other and say, this is bothering me, this is bothering me, this is affecting me, this is affecting me, and then you say, this is what is happening with me right now. We have been told as a man that you can't be crying.
You can't be crying. You can't be sensitive. Yeah.
Absolutely, but that's wrong thing when taught to children from the childhood.
Yeah.
We all have emotions, and extracting those emotions is important for your body to recreate something better for you.
Absolutely.
Yeah, and what we do is we shut down those things. We shut down those things in the younger age. You can't do this, you can't do that. So we use some very negative connotations to things, and the children will always think, you want to ask mom or dad, they're going to say, no, why should I bother asking them?
Yeah. Yeah. Excellent. Well, thank you so much again. We do have some questions towards the end of the episode.
Yes, sure.
Let's see what we got. What is one hobby that you wish you got into?
Scuba diving.
Scuba diving. That would be so much fun.
Yes.
Being in the water.
That's in my bucket list at the moment.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice. What did you want to be when you were a child?
Well, that's a very good question, because when I was growing up, my father was not a civil engineer, but he was a quantity surveyor, and he was mathematical genius. So he used to write with both hands.
Oh wow.
Yeah. So, but I was thinking of to be a civil engineer, but my destiny was to be in computers. So I grew up. My father never told us, or my parents never put a sort of a labeled us that you have to be an engineer, I have to be a doctor, or you have to do this. This is your life. You designed your life yourself.
Yeah.
Because you have to be happy in your life. So my journey started. I want to be an engineer, but I end up doing bookkeeping, and I end up in IT. So I became a business owner in Pakistan, and then I came here. I became an IT manager, and that journey continues to help me grow myself, and then getting into coaching.
Nice. Love it. What is your favorite movie or TV show? If none, how about a book?
So my favorite movie is Mask. Jim
Carrey.
Jim Carrey's,
Yeah.
That, and there are a lot of. I love cartoons. Have you watched a cartoon called Phineas and Ferb?
Yes, I've seen a little bit of it.
Yeah. So that one, and then Dora the Explorer.
Yeah.
So I was watching this with my daughters, and I was learning Spanish at that time. So, and then these were the things. And then when I watched this animation movies like Kung Fu Panda, I see there is a message in there.
There's always a message. Yeah.
So my children never see the message in there. I said, did you see the message? And I said, what message? But because they are in a completely different vibration, they won't see it. So I will say Kung Fu Panda is one of my great movies. I watch it again and again.
Yeah. Nice. That's really good. And I like animations too, because they simplistic, but they drive that value of morality. One of the, I mean, Pixar's been doing some really amazing work. If you've seen Inside Out, that movie, just out of this world. The way the emotions, all those things, Like, it's not black and white, it's a combination, right? So that's what you get at the end of it. It's really cool.
Yeah.
So on that vein, what movie would you choose if you got to play a character in it?
That's a very interesting question. Yeah, I will definitely play a role as Jim Carrey in The Mask.
Nice.
So I can be a very gullible, not knowing what life is all about, and trying to be more subtle about it. But then when you put on a mask to be mischief and trying to do a lot of things, which you never get a chance to do it. So
exactly.
have a lot of fun after that,
Nice, I like it.
Yeah.
Who is your favorite superhero?
My favorite superhero is... That's a very interesting... I used to thought it was Superman, my favorite hero. But then I realized that was when I went through my own journey in Marvels and everything. But I love that movie where... which one is that? Have you heard? If you remember that movie from... it's also an animation movie, which is where Scully and... Scully, the big hairy...
Monsters Inc.
Monster Inc. Yes. So I love that character very much.
Yeah,
because
Sully.
the way he said to that little girl, go to sleep and make that gesture and be a very cuddly person. So I like that.
Nice. All right. Last question. If you were a board game, what would it be?
A board game? Chess.
Nice. Very calculated moves.
Yes.
I like it. Well, thank you so much, Sam. This was a lot of fun talking with you. Where can my audience find you?
So they can find me easily on www.samdossa.com.
Perfect. So we'll be sure to include the links to where you're located and how folks can reach you on the show notes. And thank you so much for all the information, all the life lessons, all the values that you shared with us. It's very empowering. It's a good reminder for sure, look at yourself, be self-aware of what you're doing on a daily basis. How can you make your life more healthier in all the different ways so then you can become wealthy? Thank you so much.
Thank you very much for inviting me. Thank you.
Thank you for listening to Hacks and Hobbies. You can find additional information on the guest today on their website, hacksandhobbies.com. Please feel free to subscribe to the podcast so you don't miss out on upcoming interviews with amazing guests.